Alive 90.5, this is the Hit Mix Show, top hits, classic dance tracks, 9:48. And, of course, as I told you, we've got a special guest in today, Michelle Rowland. Before I introduce her, just give me a minute there, the Honorary Michelle Rowland, the Attorney General of Australia, born in the 16th of the 11th, 1971 in Blacktown, Australia. But, of course, Greenway is her seat here, our local seat around here. Elected to the House of Representatives in 2010, 2013, 2016, it goes on and on, 2019, 2022, 2025. Welcome, Michelle. How are you?
I'm great. So happy to be here.
Yeah, welcome to Alive FM.
I miss it. I miss the sector so much.
You do. And, of course, Communication Minister for a little while there. So you had a lot to do with this area. Now, 16th of the 11th, 1971. Now, before I ask you something, I was doing the HSC in 1972 at Marist College in North Sydney. The sensational years of the 1970s. Vietnam, conscription, Labor won the election. And as you know, this is a special day for yourselves, the Labor Party, of course. And I was there listening to that magic speech that we'll never forget. And one thing I want to say about that 70s era, they always ask the same question. How did people feel or think at that time? Well, to this day, I still claim that he should not have been sacked by the Attorney General. So I just thought I'd bring that to your attention. So, Michelle, as a child, tell me about it. You started there. You were born in 1971. Tell me about the background.
Well, look, as your listeners would have realised, it is my birthday this coming Sunday. So another year older and wiser. But, yeah, growing up in the 70s in Layla Park, it was fun, but at the same time when I look back, it was easier and yet it was sort of hard. You think about it, like we only had one car in my household, so, you know, us kids, 4 kids, we caught the bus everywhere. I was expected to get a job when I turned 14. We all were, so I went and worked in a supermarket and I ended up staying there for 8 years at a supermarket in Blacktown right through school, finished high school, kept my job through university, and it really taught me the importance of whatever job you do, when you do it well, people notice. Like, I actually learnt a lot from working in retail.
The 70s, you were about 9.
I was.
When I was doing the HSC. Beatles, Rolling Stones, Led Zeppelin, all those things were happening in the 70s. They were magic years. As you were growing up from a child till the year of 9, do you remember anything up to the year of when you were 9 in the 70s?
I do. I remember because my sister was at home and I remember she enjoyed Sherbet. She liked the band Sherbet.
Yep.
So I grew up listening to them. I grew up listening to David Bowie. I remember also growing up just watching like the Bathurst 1000 on TV, and summer we'd sit in front of the TV and watch the cricket, and then we played cricket on the road, you know. So you played with people in the street, like they were your best friends.
Do you remember at all when you were 9 that when Elvis Presley died?
I do, and I remember asking my parents how he died, and they said he had a heart attack. And then I grew up to be a bit of an Elvis fan as well. I wish I had been alive earlier so I could have seen him perform in Vegas. It would have been incredible.
I'll just give you one little thing about Elvis, because I'm a little bit of an Elvis fan, but I'll tell you this, which is important. The biggest album at the time in the 1970s was Dark Side of the Moon with Pink Floyd. It was the biggest thing ever. And people don't realise this. There was one album, Elvis Aloha to Hawaii, that was number 1 and they could not get to number 1 because of Elvis.
That's right. And I also seem to recall that was recorded in the middle of the night, and it was
exactly
done
right.
live via satellite, and it had a viewership of most of the planet.
2 billion people.
Most of the planet was watching it.
So
and
amazing.
To this day, the opening song, CC Rider, gets everyone on their feet. And I liked that Elvis phase. I thought it was although obviously he was going through a tough time, he was vulnerable, and the vulnerability came through in how he sang. It was a master.
Amazing, absolutely. The 70s were amazing years. Let's get into the area of growing up, going to university. Tell me about that.
I studied law at university, and I can tell you the day I walked into Sydney Uni, I would not have imagined that some 30-something years later I'd be appointed the Attorney General. And it's a great honour. I'm the 40th Attorney General of Australia, the third woman to hold the role. And it's one that has tremendous responsibility and challenges. But I can honestly tell you and your listeners, I wake up every single day excited about what the day holds. I get the opportunities to make real differences. I hear and see things that are disturbing, everything from family violence to the need for law reform in the areas of child protection, which is a very high priority for me. But it means I've got the opportunity to make a difference, and it's a tremendous privilege that I've been given.
Before you went into that area of your life, how did you get tapped on the shoulder to get involved with it? What got you into politics? I
was always interested in history, but public policy and how decisions are made. And I had great teachers at OLMC Parramatta who really encouraged me to get involved. I had the same debating team right from year 7 to year 12, and we're still friends to this day. So I was always interested in public affairs, and the opportunity came up some years ago to run for Blacktown Council. I did that, and I served a term there, and I was also Deputy Mayor. And then, Paul Keating has often said, the train comes into the station once every 20 years, and the train came in and said, do you want to nominate for this seat? At that time, it was a seat that had been redistributed, and we weren't sure how it was going to go. I was fortunate to get elected in 2010, and my margin at that time was 0.8%. It was way for thin. But I tell you what, making having that time and having the experiences then, it did teach me about hard work. It taught me that I needed to prove myself to the electorate, and I'm forever humbled and grateful that the people of Greenway have put their trust in me since that time.
Do you know that when you started, I lived in the Northern Beaches, and the Outer West was never talked about. And I remember when I came over, I lived in Glenwood. Mm-hmm. I'm still living in the Ponds here at the moment. And I came over, and the first thing I remembered about being in the Outer West, in the beaches, you didn't talk politics, of course. It was a blue ribbon seat. But the thing I remember most about coming to the Outer West was this. At the beaches, no one said anything to you, and they didn't want to know. As soon as I walked outside, people were saying hello everywhere. And I said, I was starting to worry about it, why people were saying hello and getting to know you as a person. So it was an amazing place when I moved over here all those years. And I remember Michelle Rowland started around about then, didn't you?
I did. And, even though I've just come off, 2 busy weeks in Canberra, I've got this very demanding role of being Attorney General. My greatest privilege is being the local member for Greenway, and whenever I've had the opportunity to be out and about, that's where I am, including here today. And as you said, today's a really important day for a couple of reasons, and it's Remembrance Day, and I'll be heading from here straight to Riverstone to the Cenotaph there to take part in the RSL's commemorations. And again, these are people who are good people in our community. I think you made the right choice.
Couple of quick questions. Best food. What do you like in food?
I like cooking myself, and I like making curries. I reckon if you've got anything left over in the fridge, you can curry it. So that's my secret tip. But I do like a good curry, but I like to go out for spicy food as well.
Best movie?
Best movie, I think, would have to be The Shawshank Redemption.
Unbelievable movie too.
Yep. Love it.
Best book?
Best book. I read Mr. Einstein's Secretary by Matthew Riley last summer. Highly recommend.
And what about the best actor?
Best actor, look, I do love Brad Pitt. I think he's fantastic. I still haven't got around to seeing F1 yet, so that's on my list for when I get a bit of time.
What about your sports? What do you like to sport? What do you enjoy?
I like the eels, but I also, in summer, I like... I need to have the cricket on, even if it's in the background, just to hear the commentary, even if I'm not following it closely. And if I can get to the test in January, that'll be a good day.
And when you were Communication Minister, what do you think was your biggest achievement?
Oh, community broadcasting, making sure we had record funding there. Stronger community broadcasting builds stronger communities.
Fantastic. Well, one thing I was going to say to you in the last bit of your interview with us, Greenway, what are you in? What's involved with Greenway at the moment, and what do you want to do with the Greenway seat over the next few years? Because you've been there a lot of years.
I think the most important thing is to deliver on all of our election commitments. We've got a number of local commitments on road infrastructure, also Rouse Hill Hospital, the urgent care clinic in Rouse Hill. So delivering on those commitments will be some of the biggest things. And as you know, the challenges in some of those growth suburbs like Box Hill and Gables, they're always front of mind as well.
That's where I'm moving to. Actually, I met you.
That's right.
At the house.
Bobby Bakehouse. Highly recommend.
That's it. So one thing I would like to ask, because a lot of people don't know this, your job at the moment, Attorney General, just describe it to me.
So I'm the first law officer of Australia. So part of my responsibility is to not run, but to oversee the administration of our courts, so the High Court, the Federal Court, the Federal Circuit and Family Court of Australia, tribunals like the Administrative Review Tribunal, but also policy settings around Commonwealth criminal law, and making sure that we've got effective functioning of a number of other really important acts like the Privacy Act I'm in charge of. I'm in charge of the Family Law Act. So keeping all those running is really important, but also serves a really important responsibility in the Parliament in terms of making sure that we get legislation drafted. So there's a lot that it's one of those iceberg things. There's a lot that I do that doesn't get seen, but again, it's a real privilege, and 6 months in,
it certainly sounds like
very
a big
excited.
job.
Huge job.
Now, one last question, which I ask everybody. If you were sitting on a bench looking at a nice lake, beautiful view, and you had 1 hour of your time to interview or talk to anybody alive and dead, who would you pick and why?
I think it would be Barack Obama. I just think that man, he had to overcome a lot, but he also saw a lot, and he's someone, whenever I get the opportunity to see either his writings or his interviews, it's always insightful, always.
So, and that's the reason. And I was going to say he changed a lot of things in America when he was president. So he was an amazing man. And I tell you, his public speaking was amazing. Michelle Rowland, thanks for your time.
Pleasure.
Right here at Alive FM. And we've improved everything since you've been part of us.
Looks amazing. Looks amazing.
What do you think of the place?
It's incredible. You've done such a great job, and big shout out to all of your volunteers, to yourself and to all of your team. You're incredible.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.